Tate is Young Americans for Liberty analyst. She's a columnist, a great writer. Kristin, the critics are asking why it took Democrat lawmakers like Nancy Pelosi and Senators Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand so long to criticize Andrew Cuomo, even over the nursing home death cover-up story. Your reaction to that?
Because Cuomo is a Democrat, and Democrats have been able to get away with far more than Republicans, at least when it comes to receiving criticism from their allies. But look, things are starting to get really bad for Cuomo. These scandals can't be ignored anymore. I mean, in 2020, the media glowingly labeled him America's governor. But now in just a few short weeks, the governor has seen this legacy that he's been carefully constructing with the help of his left-wing allies just collapse all around him. And it's because his hypocrisy, his recklessness, and his inappropriate behavior has become so flagrant that even the left-wing press can't ignore it. I mean, in 2018, Liz, he was campaigning using the Me Too movement. That is the same year that one of his aides resigned because of what she says was inappropriate touching and sexual harassment by the governor that started in 2016. So this just can't be ignored any longer.
And Charlotte Bennett is saying alleging he sexually harassed her with inappropriate comments and other statements at the height of the pandemic last year. Let's listen. You know, we've got New York State Democrats criticizing Andrew Cuomo, and we've got the New York City mayor also out with statements about Andrew Cuomo. Let's watch this.
It's not a laughing matter. So, you know, people who have done something wrong need to admit it and then talk about what needs to change. And I certainly didn't hear that. I think more and more people are going to be talking about what they've experienced. And I think as people see more and more evidence, it's going to be clear this is not the way any leader should treat anybody.
Yeah, Governor Cuomo in his statement was saying if people are misinterpreting, they may be misinterpreting unwanted flirtation and that he was making inappropriate jokes and the like. So your reaction to that?
It's just such hypocrisy because he was supposedly this big champion of the Me Too movement. But I would also point out that the hypocrisy doesn't end with his reported inappropriate contact with women. I mean, this is the guy who wrote a book praising himself for his handling of the virus as thousands of elderly New Yorkers died after his disastrous nursing home policy. Cuomo then went on to lie about the real death toll in nursing homes for nearly a year. I mean, it's become clear that Cuomo is nothing more than a power-hungry politician who just wants to bolster his public persona, and he doesn't care who gets hurt along the way. Cuomo only cares about Cuomo. And you know what? If lawmakers in New York won't hold him accountable, the voters will have the opportunity to do that next year. He's up for re-election in 2022.
There's also this video that's reemerged on social media showing Governor Cuomo questionably pressuring a female reporter with sexually suggestive statements about eating a certain type of sandwich. The reporter is denying there was anything wrong with that. People who saw the video, we watched it. We watched his daughter sitting next to him, looking really uncomfortable about that. So there's that going on, Kristin. That's all, you know, these kinds of videos now are emerging, Kristin. And then we have this. We have Dana Bash at CNN asked White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki for her reaction about this. Jen Psaki said both sides need to be heard. She found what's going on is uncomfortable. But this is the same Jen Psaki who attacked Senator Susan Collins as a, quote, fake feminist coward to vote to confirm Brett Kavanaugh. So seems to be a bit of a double standard critics are pointing out, Kristin. Your final word.
That's exactly right. And multiple high-level Democrat left-wing women have still remained silent on the Cuomo situation, despite passionately objecting to Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation on the Supreme Court due to decades-old unsubstantiated claims. For example, Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren have still said nothing about Cuomo, and yet they were the ones spouting the believe all women talking points and saying that Kavanaugh had no place on the court. So it's become clear that for a lot of Democrats, not all of them, but for a lot of them, the Me Too movement was really all about politics and not protecting women.
Okay, Kristin, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Liz.